Okay, let's set aside the money, and let's set about me being rich and all that, right? And my mother and father and my family shit, right? Like, yeah, you know how that happened? I had a buddy put crystal meth in my food without me knowing. Okay, let me just put it like this. I have slowly been my human temple has slowly been destroyed. Okay, I have a cousin that's living in Mesa, Arizona. When I wasn't even 13, he was stealing cigarettes from his dad and mom, and he took me behind his house, and he was having me smoking when I was just a little kid. Okay, remember about me being alcoholic before I was old enough to drink. Well, before I was 13, the same cousins were having people older than 21 buy us alcohol. Okay, my uncle before my cousin died, we get all our money together and he'd go get us like liquor. So in other words, when it comes to me fighting and strength and health, you can blame that on my male and female cousins. You can honestly blame it on some of the kids I grew up with. Because as what happened when it came to criminal activity and substance abuse, I was under 13. I was like 11, 10, 11, and 12 when the same cousin was stealing weed and cigarettes before I was even 13. So let me put it like this. I have family members do me wrong knowing that they was doing themselves wrong. Like when that dude Judas kissed Jesus. Every neighborhood Jesus has a Judas. And remember, I made a YouTube video that I'm the neighborhood Judas and Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Because as as where God and the devil were both fair on my part is fair on my part, as they let me realize, the real from the fake when it came to human beings and family. You know what I'm saying? So that's why God pretty much let me become my own God and become my own devil. Because, I mean, honestly, these days, family members locked up and killed over money. I mean, brutally killed and locked the fuck up and lie about even family members, even neighbors, and everybody. Fucking lie about everybody. Family members, neighbors, everything over fucking money these days. It's the truth. Husbands do wives wrong, wives do husbands wrong, kids do their parents wrong, parents do their kids wrong over money. Over fucking money. And the reason why I don't act surprised about it is because I almost accumulated $250,000 in 22 years from the United States federal government. And then, not only that, like, they still stone people to death. They're still, remember ISIS cutting people's heads off and shit? The Taliban? Remember Bin Laden Airlines? Welcome to Bin Laden Airlines America? Saddam Hussein? I seen videos from one of Snoop Dogg's people on Instagram. Some dude in Africa called his wife cheat. They showed me the video. The dude took his wife out in the jungle, cut her head off, while his best friend was stabbing her in the stomach with a knife. And these are just one instances that's been happening since 2000 BC. That's 2,000 years before Christ. I just looked up a couple months ago, in Jerusalem, I think it was Jerusalem, Israel, like 50 people with big ass rocks, stoning two men to death to this day. Two grown ass men had like bags over their heads and bodies, and he took big rocks, man. There's like about 50 people. They're staying. They had them buried waist deep in dirt, and he just took the big rocks and started stoning them two guys to death. Them are just one. Them are just videos I saw. Just one of each thing that happened. There are millions of videos. There are millions of people. You know, before Christ was crucified, they were hanging people on the cross. After Christ Jesus got crucified, I'm sure probably a couple hundred years after that, they were hanging people on the cross. I mean, they're still locking people in prison. They're still letting people in prison free. They're still locking people in jail and still letting people in jail free. I mean, America is like a soft version of Israel and Jerusalem and Syria and shit, and the Taliban and ISIS. America is strong and all, right? But they don't really, in a sense, they do this shit here, but in reality, they don't stone people to death here. In reality. Like, I highly doubt they're going to really, right now, they're not going to bury me waist deep and stone me to death. That's a fucking lie. That's a goddamn lie. I mean, if something really does happen like that, they probably call the cops on me and have me put in prison or fucking killed over some fucking lie that somebody made up, that shit that I did or somebody else did that really didn't fucking happen. I mean, honestly, I've heard of back when, back in biblical times, like high political leaders in like Israel and Jerusalem and shit. And the high powered men in like Israel and Jerusalem, they like take prostitutes off the streets, and they'd fucking they would force the woman to change their belief in their religion, and if the woman didn't do it, they'd be killed. They'd send them prostitutes back on the streets, and all the critics and naysayers and shit would snatch them off the streets and stone them to death and kill them. And you know, and then they go, look. Then they talk about me being a homeless bum of Battle Creek, Michigan. But then again, if you go to all these group homes in Battle Creek in the inner city, all them men and women, they came out of poverty and substance abuse, and they're still in poverty and substance abuse. Okay, I'll just be honest with you. A lot of people I grew up with, not just family members, but in my neighborhood, their whole existence and their whole ancestry came from poverty and poor. You know, there is still Battle Creek. When it comes to Chicago and Detroit, Battle Creek competes when it comes to criminal activity. In New York and California, when it comes to criminal activity and murder, Battle Creek is up there. Battle Creek City in Michigan, Battle Creek in the inner city, there's a high crime. The crime here is fucking just as bad as New York and fucking Texas and Chicago and fucking California. And Detroit. For real. 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. You know, right here in Michigan and America and the world, it ain't gonna be lit. For real. I'm my mama, I'm God. You see what the hell's happening in this world? Battle Creek could be the cause of all this shit. over lies, deceit, poverty, poor, middle class, or rich, and lies and deception, and all God's truth. I'm telling you this. And all the devil's lies. Shit's real.